So look, right. I'll say this much. Um, Most of my stories thus far have been revolving around me being at Lakeland Correctional and moving from there, or getting kicked out of there rather, going into GR Cotton facility in Jackson, right? However, what a lot of individuals don't know, like from the streets, and a lot of dudes who didn't get locked up prior to say 98 and whatnot, they didn't remember that they had what they called a interstate corrections compact transfer. So an interstate corrections compact transfer was basically an agreement between different states as to where inmates could request to serve out the remainder of their time in another state. So what was going on at this time with Michigan is that Michigan was going through this overcrowded thing, right? A lot of the headlines back then, especially when they was discussing taking good time for the first time after all these years, was talking about how Michigan prisons was overcrowded, right? Now, the thing what a lot of people would argue was, if y'all so overcrowded, why are y'all locking up people at such an alarming rate still? So they got into this agreement with Virginia. Actually, what is it? Greensville Correctional Facility in Jarrett, Virginia, where they were sending hundreds of inmates from Michigan down to that facility. Now the thing was, if you didn't want to get transferred, you had to have you had to have bought real quick or had a typewriter, and then say you was about to put your appeal in and go through all that. Because if you had an appealing process or you were trying to get back in them courts, they weren't allowed to send you down there or get you caught up in nothing else, because you had to be able to have a writ of habeas corpus or be able to produce yourself in court up here if needed to be for your court proceedings, right? Up in Michigan. The thing was when we I get caught up in that. It was crazy because I was just talking to a brother on the yard. I think it was Albert Jr. And Albert Jr. was giving me them cornrows. So I had just started plaiting my hair up and whatnot, and I had it kind of short. And if you know about growing hair, you know he had daughters, and this was a good brother. He wasn't on no funnies tips, so he used to twist me up for a couple bucks. And was getting my stuff, jumping. That's when you mix that blue bergamot grease back then with the sulfurate grease and whip it up and grease your scalp. And man, before you know it, you got a head full. So he twisted me up and he was just saying, damn, man, as long as you ain't get caught up in that Virginia shit, I ain't going no goddamn 5, 6, 7 many states away. People hardly come visit now. And I'm thinking, yeah, moms don't come all the time. I'm in Jackson. We from Detroit. That's like an hour ride or something like that, right? An hour or so. So I'm like, damn, you're right. I don't want to get caught up in that shit neither. Lo and behold, they called my ass one day talking about you packing up, you going to Virginia. Oh my God. Bro, you got to think, I ain't even been here, but I had been at Cotton probably a year at that time. I didn't graduate in dignitary status amongst the brothers, from assistant palace administrator to palace administrator. I'm doing pretty good. And you remember I was telling you on the previous story about the pay to play situation, my brother Pep. Me and him locked in. His father there. Yeah, and this is like a little small family. I got my homeboy Kenny Who that was there that I talked about previously. My man Alan Bay. So these is the homies that I grew up around. You know what I mean? And I'm about to like, damn, Kenny Who had went to the hole, but he was on his way back out the hole. But I ended up riding out to Virginia before he got out the hole. But this is like my family now. Some of these, a lot of them dudes that was, like I said, that was at Lakeland with me, end up at Cotton. So it was a distraught situation to say the least. Not to mention, I got to tell moms and them that I'm about to be all these states away for I don't know how many months. Now, at the time, I think the contract that they had with Michigan was like a 2-year contract. And I want to say that they were not up on that contract yet. The terms hadn't ended as far as time frame. So now you got to pack all your stuff up. Now we going all these states away. Bro, let me explain something. On the way down to Virginia, this is what happened. One older dude, older white dude, end up catching like a stroke. It's hot as hell, first of all. It's the summertime. It's like, I want to say, probably July, June or something like that. So, it's hot as hell for one. They got us on this bus like 40 deep, chained up with the boxes, no? So the black box like this, cuffed, right? And then your hands is cuffed in the box. So this is how you move it, and it's right at your waist. And then the chain around your waist and around your feet. So you shackle pretty damn good, right? Now, I'm on this damn bus, this older dude, then collapsed. Now we sitting for I don't know how long until he gets service, right? They got to get him. It took so long, and then we got a flat tire. So between them two, it took us so long to even get on the road that we had to spend the night in a whole nother facility in Jackson, right? A transfer facility, because they had gave our bed space away already. That's how fast they move, right? As soon as they already done process your transfer, you know you up out of there, they already got who coming next to fill that bed space quick, right? It's like the real modern slave plantation. They moving them. Bodies on top of bodies. You hear what I'm saying? So on the way down to Virginia, all this stuff happening, right? Not to mention, I'm like, damn, who gonna twist my hair up? And I don't smoke cigarettes. They passing out these cheap ass GPC, I think they were cigarettes. It's so smoky on there. And we ain't ate good, and it's wobbling. I got motion sickness. I'm so lightheaded. I feel like throwing up and earling and everything. It's stuff people don't tell you about, like going to the joint, man. Riding on them buses and all that, man. That stuff is stressful and hectic. Especially, I ain't used to that old closed in area, can't breathe, funky mother. You know what I mean? Dudes ain't wash their butt. I don't know when feet stank. I ain't brushed their teeth this morning. Ran out of toothpaste. It's so much going on. I'm like, listen, you hear what I'm saying? Right. So you got all this going on, right? With these with all these cigarettes and all this stuff. Not to mention, I happen to blurt out, damn, who braid hair on here? Why this only person to answer is the one that's furthest up from the bus. I'm probably like 3/4 of the way to the back of the bus. So it's probably about 15 or so many dudes behind me. But this person get up and turn around and say that. I said me. Who said that? Listen, this is a grown man, right? He had to have at least a good 34, 36D on the titty. You hear me? I ain't knocking nobody who transgender or who identify different outside of their sexual orientation. Hey, do what you want to do. But you got to think, I ain't never seen nothing like this outside of Miss Ann, who was like, you know, it's a real, like, you got a real woman features in the man prison. Mind you, when we get down there, right, when we get down there to Virginia, he ain't last long. He ain't last long. He was out of there he was down there probably a week with us or something. He got up out of there quick. Right? Which is cool, because I cut my hair. Before he got up out of there, I'm like, man, I'm not about to be going through this. I took and cut my hair. I put all that little work in. I had a little hands. I had one of them little froze about this long now. I whacked it. I went straight bald head, straight naked face. I ain't had no mustache back then, really, so it didn't even matter. But I did all that and went like straight, like I was about to be on the straight Nation of Islam. For real, like my brother, I was clean. You know what I mean? So I ended up growing my hair back. It didn't take long, probably about a few weeks, but I kept my facial hair pretty clean after that. It was an experience, though. It was an experience going down to Virginia, man. And the reason why I say that is because when you get down there, it's a totally different energy, for one, because it's 90% black COs, right? And this 90% of them was women. So it ain't nothing like up here, right, where you got all these little small town, little redneck hillbilly dudes who mad about life, and a couple of rejects from Fargo. The women, you know, you very rarely, like the one I told you in Coldwater, who's kind of thick, she was straight. And you would have a few little black females here and there when you got closer to the city, like Jackson, Macomb, Ryan, Mom, some Adrian, I think maybe. I know, like, closest to some of the cities, you had more black COs. However, if they wasn't on tip, they was worse than the white COs. So it was like, beat it. But when we get down there, it's love, man. You talking about the best breakfast, like home-style potatoes, pancake stuff, not just on Saturdays like they do in Michigan. You get pancakes twice a month in Michigan, and you get waffles twice a month. It's like they mixed up Saturday. If you're lucky, you might not get that. They doing this every day. Real fried fish on the bone, real smoked neck bone stuff, and whatever not smoked neck bone, but like, yeah, real like meat parts in your beans and stuff. So it was a whole different vibe. It was real hospitable and real smooth. And I think their philosophy was like, you got to be down here, so we not about to put no extra stress and pressure on y'all. Y'all know what y'all supposed to do. Do it. If y'all don't, we coming for y'all. But y'all not about to stress our little 8 hours, and we ain't about to stress y'all time. It was like real love when it came to the compassion. I've never seen that much compassion when it came to correction officers until I went to Virginia. Right? It was so much compassion though that it got a little out of hand, and a few brothers ended up coming back from Virginia with wives and fiancés that used to be correction officers at Greensville Correctional. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, yeah, I had a brother. I'm just gonna call him DX. DX was messing with this CO, and I'm gonna call her Rob, and we're gonna leave it at that. They was messing around. It fucked me up. It fucked me up when I saw how their relationship really was like real, like on some street stuff. Like, man, they in the hallway necking up, and yeah, it was like no shame for a minute. Well, around us, because he knew he could hold that. We knew he was gonna hold that secret and whatnot and keep that in. Like this, you gotta figure this is '99, so this is a long time ago. So it ain't like exposing nobody, but it was a different vibe down there. That interstate, the interstate prison compact thing was deep because you really saw firsthand the first glimpse on how they can really pimp and pawn you out. Once you get caught up in that situation, it's like, okay, you can say what you want about what they cannot do and what they will not do, but I'm living proof of the fact that they will pimp and pawn you out for that dollar. You will be somewhere totally different in Siberia. Listen how this yard looks, right? In Michigan prison, you got grass, you got trees in certain spots. You got baseball diamonds with real grass around. You got weight pits, right? You got places there where there are some shade. No, not down there. It's dirt everywhere. It's dirt. Dirt road, dirt yard, fence, phones. That's it. The only thing we had was the I think it might have been a volleyball thing down there, maybe. But we definitely had a couple of hoop courts. No free weights. One little gym with a hoop court and then a universal machine to work out on that was kind of broke in some areas. So you got to think we down there doing heli calisthenics, push-ups, pull-ups, hanging off the bottom of the steps in the pods, doing pull-ups. If you trust your brother, man, you rock with him and he's solid, then you hop on his shoulder, he hop on your shoulder, y'all do squats and, put that resistance and whatnot, that pressure on each other. But you talking about like it was terrible. It was like so devoid of life. You wouldn't even think if you had life, you probably wouldn't think about escaping because where would you go? And not to mention this is one compound, and I think there's about 3 or 4 prisons. Like if I can I'm gonna try to get an overhead view of that and pop it up on the screen so you can see what I'm talking about. Right, this place was deep, and that was the only thing I didn't like about it. And we locked down super early. And every now and then, any execution that went down in Virginia, they locked us down early, and we saw that at night on the news. So and we got a whole new inmate number when you went down there. You got to figure, I had a 261 number up here in Michigan. Get down there, I got a 271-597 number. So totally different inmate number. And they let you know, and you sign off on paper that says that, hey, this is not Michigan. We don't care if you are inmates of Michigan. And down here and under this contract, if you catch a crime down here, you are subject to laws in Virginia State or Virginia Commonwealth. All right. We were subject, like down there, they got death row. So not to say you got to kill nobody, but God forbid you had to, right? It ain't the same as up here where you can fight in the courts and get some time. No, they giving you the death to the row. And I was seeing dudes. I wish I could figure out, because I remember I got an article somewhere, a couple of articles about the dudes they actually executed. And like I said, I'm a pack rat when it comes to stuff I was locked up with because I don't know why. I think that was meant for this time right now because I got so much paperwork and so much to show y'all and share with y'all that happened over the course of my bids. And I'm just scratching the surface. I'm just getting into my first bid, my first year or 2 away. I ain't even touched on the last 3 years of my bid when it's really getting hectic. This is in the beginning phase when I'm really learning a lot of these valuable lessons that I be sharing with y'all, right? And this is a valuable lesson right here. Get your butt in that prison if you want to. Find your way to the penitentiary if you want to, thinking shit gonna be sweet and you gonna always just be where you think you at, and let some new legislation or something go down where they signing off and saying, hey, they're allowing Michigan prisoners to be shipped to California for 3 years under an intense study or programming, and let it become legal. Your butt gonna be on the way. Now, I'm not saying that you're gonna have it might be different now because you got a lot of resistance online. People signing petitions at a faster rate, so they might be able to save you. But I'm letting you know the rules change when you're behind enemy lines. You hear me? The rules change when you subject yourself to be up under somebody else's thumb and control. No longer are you in control. That interstate compact thing is real. You get pimped out and pawned out. I got pimped and pawned out. Me and my man, I met some good brothers down there. My man Robert Cross, I met him down there. You understand what I'm saying? On that yard, I met this dude Sandy. Sandy is a minister. His brother, I forget his brother's name, but they got, I think it's Hood Books headquarters on the east side. I think that's their thing. But I met his. No, I'm lying. Let me go back. I met Sandy in the streets, and I ran into his brother in Virginia. That's what happened. I met Sandy in 97 or so, maybe 90. No, it was 97 for sure. And we was working together, and he was fired up about church all the time. Oh man, church is off the hook. Church like the club. You don't even understand. I'm so fired up about Jesus. And I'm like, man, this guy here is a bug. But I liked his energy though. You understand what I'm saying? Ran into his brother because he was describing his brother, and I'm like, man, I was around this dude that sound like that, love church, this, that, and the other. I said his name's Sandy. He said, what? That's my brother. Put me on the phone with him one day, and to this day, I think Sandy Richardson, one of the two. Sandy doing his thing now and doing his church thing. Yep. So shout out to you, bro. They used to threaten me. They used to threaten me when I got back up to Michigan, like after I had left Virginia and came back. Because I was only down there 5 months. But I got a few stories I'm going to share with y'all while I was down there, things that happened. But you got to think, by the time I got back up here, I wasn't afraid to go up north no more. They was like, you're going to go so far up north. I said, dog, y'all just sent me to Virginia. I didn't even know how long I was going to be down there. But I was down there for 5, damn near 6 months. So you threatening me about going up north is nothing. But I understood and respected the power they had about shipping your butt off somewhere to where nobody ain't even coming to write you, but see you, nothing. You call home and that's it. You ain't seeing them though. Unless they really, really bought that for you. But if you smart, you like, man, do not spend your money traveling way down here, doing all that. All it's going to do is like get me in the zone where I'm looking forward to seeing y'all now. And I'm all, miserable. And y'all miserable, so just stay where you at, and we'll figure it out when it's time for me to get back to Michigan. I'll get back there, and I wouldn't let moms them come down there not once. I didn't want to. I was straight. I'm like, I'm good. I call home probably once, maybe twice a week. I usually call home once a week, no matter how much time I was doing. Like on Fridays or something, I call home, see how everybody doing, vibe off that energy through the weekend, because that was the roughest times, a lot of time for me. Because there wasn't really no classes, no program, and teachers is all off, so the school buildings kind of was shut down unless they had some inmate programs going on. But it would be a long weekend sometimes, man. Thinking about the streets, hearing if you was close enough to Detroit or a city, you can hear like the radio stations, the club promoters and stuff talking. You be in that boy, like, oh my God, I can't wait to go home. You hear me? So I understand the pain and the struggle of people who got people incarcerated and people that been shipped off, and you know what I mean? Yeah, it's hard. It's rough. That's why I talk about this stuff all the time, bro. These experiences is real. Getting shipped off all them states away, and I'm in my early 20s, bro. That was like, come on, I'm a man up and do it because I got to, but that's a game you got to play with yourself emotionally to trick yourself and harden yourself to not feel that shit, because that shit hurt. And it's weird because you be so far away from home, you feel like, man, damn, if something happened, I ain't never coming home. I say all that to say this, man. Stay safe, take care of yourself, watch what y'all get yourself into, man. You know what I mean? Because once you get caught up in some shit, ain't no telling how long you're going to be there and where they going to put you. You know, it's your boy OG Kenny, O_G_Kenny. Retired from the Streets podcast. Don't forget about me, TV, man. Loved ones. Love y'all. Y'all be safe out there.